Thank you, Tatiana, for that beautiful music. Good morning. Reverend Elizabeth Mora here, welcoming you to Unity Northwest Church on Sunday, December 27th, 2020. So glad to have you with us this morning. All of you who are our regulars, who come on pretty much every week, and to someone who's watching new for the first time this morning, or to all of you who are watching this later on during the day, during the week, in the months to come, welcome. Every single one of you makes a difference to us here, and we are so glad that you decided to spend this Sunday morning with us. Everybody is welcome here at Unity Northwest. We welcome every race, every creed, every color, every generation. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, we're glad this is where you chose to spend today. And we hope that you will find something inspiring, something touching, whether it's the music or the message, or just coming online and seeing everybody checking in that's your friends, or perhaps some new friends that you might meet in this virtual experience. We are creating this service together today, as it's Ask Reverend Elizabeth Sunday. As I go along in the opening here, if a question comes to you, you can type it right into the comments section here on Facebook, and I will be able to read your question. And some of you have sent them to me already on email. And if you do have a question that you'd rather not have your name attached to, sometimes people don't want that, you can go ahead and send me a quick email to revelizabethmora@gmail.com, and I will do my best to get back over to email to read any other questions that come in. revelizabethmora@gmail.com for Ask Reverend Elizabeth Sunday. It's always an interesting time to see what people want to know about. And continue to say hi in the comments section over there. It's great to know who's here with us. It's one of the ways that we can stay in touch with people. And I'm going to welcome my friend Chris on with me, as always, in the last few weeks. Hi, Chris. Welcome back. It's good to have you with us.
Good morning. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
And where are you?
Still at the North Pole. Still doing this Christmas vibe.
I love it. So you've inspired me. Chris, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I feel kind of underdressed today.
Wow.
Because I didn't have any Christmas stuff on because Christmas is past. So if you can still be at the North Pole, then I can wear my necklace. I figure. I like to call this period after Christmas period. And you get to take all the stress out of Christmas because that part's done. And now let it be fun, right? So the tree's still up, enjoy that tree. The cookies are there, you get to eat the rest of them. Maybe you have another day off or two. So enjoy after Christmas, I say, let it go a little bit longer, at least a week longer. Welcome, Chris. It's good to have you with us. And Chris and I are going to lead you then into our prayer, daily word, and our invocation. So we're always glad to have Chris with us. Let's go ahead and join in prayer as we open this beautiful service. Each one of us now consciously comes together, connecting with each other, with this message, with the Unity family. Here we are on this Sunday. And as I take this moment to center and be still, I might even bring forth the image of the church where I would normally be sitting and see those friends all around me. Because in truth, nothing has changed. The heart of Unity Northwest is still beating strong, and our teachings have never changed. It's just our deepening understanding of them that changes. I now open myself into this sanctuary of a Sunday church experience to let myself be transformed in whatever way comes forth today. Not knowing what it might be, the mystery lies in front of me. What will this Sunday service be for me today? I can't wait to see. And so it is. And so we let it be. Thank you, God. And Chris will now share our invocation with us.
All right, let's all together take a deep breath, relax, and use the words of the invocation to express our faith. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and your power, O blessed Spirit. In your divine wisdom, now erase my human limitations, and from your pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to your perfect law. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, and the daily word for today is release. Getting ready for the new year. So the affirmation is, I take the best and leave the rest, which I love that affirmation. My experiences of the past year have brought me gifts of insight, new perspectives, and many chances to grow and stretch myself, and perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves me in my work or brings greater enjoyment to my leisure time. Some experiences have been painful or difficult. These too have offered their gifts. So I accept all that has come my way. With gratitude, I bless it all. I find the gifts and release no matter what serves my growth, or that which no longer serves my growth. Assured that God is my dependable source, I release any pain of financial setback. In the joy of restored health, I release any memory of illness. Grateful for the modes of connection, I release any pain of loneliness. I move forward feeling lighter, cleansed, and renewed for my journey forward. The Bible verses, do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. And that's Isaiah 43:18.
We've got a cat.
We do.
Oh, how precious.
This is my little buddy. This is Audrey. And
Hi, Audrey.
She's like a little puppy dog. She fetches toys all day long and brings them back to me. So.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah.
What a cute, yeah, welcome, Audrey. Pets are welcome. I said we welcome everyone here, including your pets. Thanks, Chris. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. And thank you for checking in, everyone. And let me do a quick, there we go, a quick run through to let everybody know who's here with us today so you can picture everybody. Hello, Carolyn. Oh, Nancy, thank you for reminding me. Unity of Ames, welcome. It's great to have you with us as well. Deb and I, Rev Deb and I, switch off when we're on vacation. We go to have you go to each other's church. So welcome, Ames. You're a little bit later today. You normally are at 10:30, and we're glad to have you with us. Thank you, Unity of Ames, and everyone who's come on today. And I hope Rev Deb is having a nice time off. Carolyn is loving the music at a tinny sound. Okay, let me know if that shifts. We are going to continue to play with sound. Thanks for letting me know. Merry After Christmas from the trailers. And Linda checking in again. And my husband's back in the other room. Hal and Jeanette wish a special new year to everyone. A great year is coming. There's lots of excitement for a new year. This is always a fun time when we transition. Notice how this week goes for you. Good morning from Jeanette, Rob, Lori. Hi, Tracy. Wonderful to have you on with us. Mark, Angela, Carolyn, thank you for having Sunday school this morning. It means so much that we had 4 giggly girls in Sunday school. Everybody, let's applaud that. Any kids that are coming to Sunday school are getting this message long before most of us got it. So that is so important that we had that. Thank you, Carolyn, to your team for putting that online, and to the kids for spending a little more time on Zoom than they probably want to. Hi, Julie, good to see you. And Jerry's here, Cindy's here, Chris is here. Movie suggestion, Disney Soul, you loved it. Thanks for the recommendation. Anne is here. Welcome, Shelley from Ames, and Chris. Had to close and re-enter due to technical difficulties. Thanks for that reminder that that's always an option if things aren't going smoothly for you. Go ahead, close, come back out. We did that actually this morning during our rehearsal. We had a little bit of an issue, and all it took was getting out and coming back in. Good morning. There's a lesson in that, right? For all of us. Karen and Mickey and Mary are here as well. welcome again to everybody and to all of you again who will be watching at some point in the future. And now let us take this time to go back into that spiritual space once again. Oh, for perhaps your favorite part of service. I know it's my favorite part of service. And enter into meditation together. This important time to join with others in this sacred act of coming back to the center, to the core, to the truth. And I invite you, if it's comfortable, to close your outer eyes, to settle in. Or if you like to keep your eyes open, have a soft gaze. And notice the body, perhaps sitting a little bit taller to let the breath go deeper. And soften the face. So often there is tension. We don't even realize in our eyes or our brow, or we've clenched our teeth just a little. Let that face relax. And with your hands placed in your lap and your feet solid on the ground, notice that breath supporting you every moment, coming and going. I breathe in, I breathe out. I let the outer physical world fade into the background for now. And come into this open, full, and also empty space. Here I am, once again, in touch with what is divine. I breathe in God. I breathe out love. I breathe in God. Breathe out love. God, love. I rest in this knowing, in the silence. This is a powerful time together each week, connected in ways that we don't even know. How many souls listening to this are experiencing the same thing that I am? And we breathe in God and breathe out love to all situations. And to those that we're celebrating, as we hold those in our heart, we strengthen that. We literally reprogram our mind, our brain, to recognize the good, to create more of that, and to keep our attention focused there. And for those areas that are challenging, we bring them into this space of love and God, so they can be transformed, so that we can be changed and to move through the difficult times back into the light, honoring both. The power of meditation to cleanse, to celebrate, and to do that, joining with others at the same time, quickens and deepens what happens. This week, as we enter a new year, as the clock changes over, let me hold meditation time in my heart as much as I can to create an open space for the good that is to come and for the good that I am to create. And so it is. And so we let it be. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. It's question time. Welcome to another round of Ask Reverend Elizabeth. We do this a few times a year. It's one of my favorite kinds of service because you get to create the service that you want. When you come to service, you may have questions. Everybody has this vision of, oh, the perfect service is for me. It's this, that, and the other. Well, today you get to create that during the sermon. Get my necklace straightened out here. It's going to drive us all crazy. There we go. So whatever question you've always wanted to ask, you get to ask it today. Just put it right here in the comments section and I will read those questions. And I have a few to start with that I just looked at 10:30. I promise I didn't prepare. Part of the fun is to do this on the fly, and it really is fun for me. So whatever comes to your mind today that you want to ask about unity, about religion, spirituality, life, really, there's kind of nothing off the table. There are things that I know things about, and there are other things I'll say, I don't know. Let's go look that up on Google, the answer to everything, or maybe the Bible. So I will do my best and have a lot of fun with you. So bring it on. Don't worry about whatever kind of question you have. It's a valid question. And I just realized I need to grab my phone because where did I set it? That's where I saved my questions. Well, my trusty assistant is going to look for my phone. I think I left it back in the bedroom. Meanwhile, I remember very well what one of the first questions was. And one of the first questions is this how church is going to be? What is church going to look like going forward? And that is the question that is on everyone's mind that goes to a church anywhere probably right now. Where is this all going to go? Our hope is as soon as it's safe to open back up in Illinois, we will open back up. Yeah, there will be a day that we will be back in person. Absolutely. And we're going to keep doing online. And that's what most churches are doing. What we want to do is we want to be able to, oh, he's looking for my phone. We want to be able to bring church to people in whatever way they want to receive church. And the technology exists now that we can do both. That is our plan, that we will be in the sanctuary eventually when it's safe, and that we will continue to live stream. And that will mean that we will need some training. We're buying. Uh-oh, Arturo is calling my phone and it's coming through on the computer. That's great. It's an exciting day here at Unity Northwest. Fine. If you can't find my phone, that's okay. I remembered a couple of questions. Uh-oh, and now this fun thing has been happening that my music decides to play in the middle. There we go. And so we are going to be buying some equipment and we are going to be getting some training. There is a difference between doing just live stream and doing just live, and doing the hybrid at the same time requires some moving around of pieces and different ways of doing things. So we will be back as soon as as soon as it makes sense. And we will continue to be back in person, and we plan on bringing back things. Fellowship, probably not right away, but fellowship will come back. Gatherings will come back. And in the meantime, we're going to do a few more drive-by events next year. That's, I think, the thing that works the best, that people have responded the most to, rather than outside gatherings, drive-by. So those who want to stop and get out of their car can do that. And those who simply want to drive by and stay in their car with their masks can wave. So we're going to be looking at planning some of those events next year. And if you'd like to help us do that, we would love that. We're all looking for new ways to volunteer as well. So the help will come either with technology or helping us do some of these quick events that keep people safe. So that's what's on tap there. Wow, Chris has asked a great question. So I'll go back down. Let me get back here to the beginning here and see if I can find, I consider myself religious, but not observant. Am I religious? Cindy, nice question. So the core of the word religious is about binding together. So binding together, coming together in common thought. That's what makes someone religious. You know, like so many words, they've drifted from their original, more innocent meaning or more pure meaning. Like the word priority has become the word priorities. And really, you can only have one priority, and then we all get overwhelmed. So religion has come to mean, to many people, dogma, guilt, shame, expectations, and people are now spiritual, but not religious, observant, but not religious. Religion has really gotten a bad name. And I don't know if it can come back. I don't know if we can rescue that. And we will decide. Really, culture decides what words mean. Part of what I like to do is help rescue language. That's something that's come up for me in my lifetime, is to rescue the language in the religious world that has come to mean something that it didn't originally mean, like Christ. Christ wasn't Jesus's last name. Christ is the anointed one. And that same anointing happens for all of us. So that's another example. So Cindy, these days, it's whatever you decide. If you want to claim that you are religious because that means something positive to you, and you know what that means, and it doesn't matter what other people think it means, or if you're not comfortable and you would say, you know, I'm spiritual. What many people say. I'm a student, I'm learning, I'm exploring, I'm a student of life, whatever that might mean for you. And the original meaning, though, is simply binding together, coming together with people with a common goal, with a common belief set. Doesn't mean it's exact, but it means that kind of the heart of it is, let's do this thing together because we're better together than we are apart. And to me, that's still a good thing. And that's why I'm proud to say I'm religious. And I know that others aren't, and that's okay. God love, God love, God love. What is your belief about death and possible life afterwards? Thank you, Marilyn. That was from someone else on email as well as that same question. I'll leave it up there. So officially, let me speak about Unity first. Officially, Unity doesn't have an official teaching or position on reincarnation, all right, the afterlife. Simply that the life is consciousness, and consciousness never dies. So we focus more primarily on how we're living this life than the afterlife. And we also believe that the soul continues in general. And most people in Unity, the common belief, including from Charles and Myrtle, was that we probably live on in some way, reincarnated. Now, how that exists, of course, nobody knows. You know, do we come back as Elizabeth in the next lifetime? I personally don't think so. There's a concept of like pieces of us coming back together, awareness that we go back into the one, and then we come back out and express in the physical again. And how that actually works, I don't know. But I think that there is something of me that continues. And so I look at it as what helps me in this lifetime. Given that nobody knows, As they say, does it, if believing in heaven makes this life easier and better and more beautiful for you, then if there's no harm in it, then go ahead. And if that doesn't work for you, then you say, I'm going to focus on being the best person I can here. But I think either way you believe, living your best life now makes the most sense. So really, either way you believe, be the best you can be in every moment. Be the best Christ. Be the best human. And so there isn't as much of a focus on who gets to go where there's an up and a down. Certainly not a heaven and a hell as a place that exists. Because we believe in oneness. So if we believe in oneness, it's hard to have, there's a heaven and a hell, and there's the good people and the bad people. That doesn't all come together in an understanding of God. So physical locations, I doubt it. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But when I think about God and what makes sense, the power of all that is, the power of life that brought me forward, that mystical something that we call God, I think about what makes sense, that there is something besides nothing. Why am I here? I could not be here, but I'm here. Something brought me forth. Call it love or life or God. And I believe that that is a powerful and positive energy. And that on here, on earth, we come to learn and explore. And of course, create heaven and hell here on earth, as we like to say, in unity. And so whatever makes you be the best person that you could be would probably be the best views that you could hold. And also look around at people that you admire, that live life the way that you admire and like, and look at what are their beliefs. I look at the Dalai Lama, and he's a wonderful role model, and he believes in reincarnation. That works for me. It also makes logical sense. So get deep down into your core and ask yourself the question, what do you believe? Hal is asking another great question that is a regular during these sessions. So it's always good to reiterate this. What is the difference between unity and Unitarian? If anybody thinks they know, go ahead, put it down in the chat here. We are kissing cousins, I like to call us, kissing cousins. There are some similarities and there are some differences. Unitarian, much more widespread. So I bet most of you on this session here today have, when you say that you belong to unity, someone has said back to you, oh, Unitarian. And you're like, oh yeah, here I go again. Yep. So pull out the standard answer. Yeah. No, not actually Unitarian. We are a denomination on our own with about 600 churches in the United States and have been around since the 1880s. We're not something that popped up overnight. Unitarian and unity both allow a lot of freedom within their belief structure. And there are a lot of differences in the churches. So you can go to a Unitarian church where they speak about God, and then you can go to another church that's very humanitarian, very human-based, won't be speaking about God. One difference with unity is virtually all unity churches talk about God. But we also open up to the space to understand that not everyone is comfortable with that word or that concept because it brings up images of a person. So we both are more open in our beliefs about God than some other churches might be. The Unitarian Church is much more involved in social justice than unity churches are. Some of us in unity would like to see that change. We'd like to be more involved in the world. And the Unitarians are definitely ahead of us on that. However, unity is very deeply ahead, I would say, on the inner practice, the focus on meditation and consciousness and your inner world. So I've come to look at it a little bit this way, and I hope my Unitarian friends will forgive me because half of them would probably say no and half would say yes. But the Unitarians kind of look out and say, the world is messed up. We need to do something about that. We need to act on that, and we need to be like God. Unity starts from the place of all is in divine order. May not be pretty, but all is in divine order. Let me check in on what is mine to do. So there's a little bit of a difference in the motivation. We both might do the same thing, like a food drive, but our motivation is a little bit different. We come from a spiritual social action perspective, and they come more from a social action perspective with some spirituality. And that's an unfair, gross overgeneralization. But we're both very progressive movements. And even while unity churches don't act as much out into the world, they tend to hold the same more liberal beliefs because unity is a liberal religion. I know that word liberal is, a panic word for people, all right? But let's go back to rescuing the language. Liberal simply means opening up to that something could be different. Conservative says, I need to keep things the way that they are. There's no judgment in there on its purest form, all right? And those tensions are always at work in the world. And so you see that in social justice work, in unity and Unitarianism, in that, yes, there is something that stays the same. We honor and keep the best of it, and we transform the rest of it. And so more liberal, more accepting of gay, lesbian, transgender, very openly. Both of our denominations do gay marriages and have gay clergy. So in those ways, we're all very, very similar. Again, some of that underlying philosophy is the same, and how we look out into the world comes from a slightly different place. And many people go back and forth, not many. People are comfortable coming from a Unitarian church to a Unity church and back. Unity tends to have a little more heart and Unitarian a little more head. Chris's question is one of those that I don't know, the response to the Spanish flu in 1918. I don't know, but now I'm going to go look it up. And here's going to be my guess. My guess is going to be that unity was more focused on doing the inner healing work. I don't know that they would be anti-mask necessarily if they were wearing masks, or whatever the treatments would be. Unity has transformed over the years. And so we started as a healing movement. Some say we got away from that. Some might say we transformed to incorporate modern science as it developed. And we're also trying to keep the core of the healing teaching that we had. So I see it as a both and, that you can heal yourself. Absolutely. And it doesn't always happen. It often happens, but it doesn't always happen. And so sometimes it's okay if you want to take medication, because if everything is in the realm of God, God is in that too. So this is a personal journey as well. So, and I would imagine that the concern for the whole would have been there as well. So what helps the whole? So another tension in life is the individual and the collective, and that is hugely playing out. How do I get to be an individual yet care about the collective? Oh, and we are seeing it in spiral terms. To me, right now, it is orange versus green right now. Orange and green, orange and green. And some people see it as red and blue. And those are in there too. Where I'm feeling it most is in the individualism of Americans and the heart of Americans butting up against each other right now. I don't know where it all goes. But again, I would think that Myrtle and Charles were a little more conservative back then. There also was much less known, scientifically, and it was difficult, to get information out. But they probably would have leaned more on the heal thyself, and they probably weren't, once again, involved in the outer world as much. Even Charles wrote about not getting involved in World War II. So that is in our history, and that's part of our tension, and that's part of how we're growing, is to figure out how to be out in the world without abandoning our teachings, that the inner world comes first. And I'm going to look it up because I know the former archivist and he knows everything. So stay tuned for that one. Yay to keep doing online when we move forward. On those really icy below 0 days in the wind chills, you love the idea of Zoom. Thanks for letting us know, Anne. I think, and we have a number of people who cannot physically make it to church. They don't drive anymore. They live way far out and there aren't members near them, or it's really difficult for them to come in, or they right now are immunocompromised. So this is going to be a blessing that comes out of this, is this has sped up our ability to be online. We're grateful for that. And yay to drive-by events. Yes, Anne, you were there for the Christmas one, and wasn't it a blast? It was really special. I can't encourage you enough to please come when we do that. Springboarding from Marilyn's question, life after death. What would account for some having positive near-death experiences while other having negative? Boy, that's a deep question, Chris. You know, we are all so individual, and there's much debate about how much of the near-death experience is real or is imagined in our mind. And one interesting thing is that on one level, it doesn't matter. If we're believing it in our mind, the good news and the bad news is our body doesn't know the difference, right? So they say you can, practice a basketball game and it's helping you as much as if you practiced. I don't know about exactly as much. I don't know if I buy that. But the brain, if you relive something over and over, it's living it again and again. And that's why we try to keep our thoughts more positive, not denying the hurt ever, but on the what is this bringing me to question. So I think that we are all on different places in our evolution here, Chris. All of us are, and in different areas of our life. We might be in one area or another, more developed, less developed, more interested, less interested. I've definitely heard near-death experiences that are truly amazing, like unexplainable. Not just near-death experiences, but psychic experiences, connections, people knowing things. And I've had a couple myself. It's not a deep focus of my practice, but I do acknowledge that there is something beyond the veil. I don't know, if there are angels here with me, or if my mind is telling me there is, and is there truly a difference? Is it leading to a more positive existence? And so it would be interesting to look at the positive versus negative death experiences and look at the backgrounds of the people. What is their general mindset? William James spoke of us being basically two different mindsets, the healthy-minded and the morbid-minded. And those words are not positive and negative, they just sound it. So there are those that have a more liberal conservative, a more open, a more cautious, and all of them are needed. So I don't know if that could have something to do with the different way that we experience things. And once again, these are these things that come back to the mystery and finding a way to accept the mystery. And I believe to create as positive an experience as you can in this lifetime. And I'm going to share one of the funniest things that someone ever said to me about this. I was questioning reincarnation I didn't know about, and I was looking into it. And a girlfriend of mine said, honey, I got enough issues to straighten out in this lifetime. I am not going to go back and try to work on lifetimes I'm not living now. This life was plenty. So maybe that's where I'm at in development. And as I move in development, I'll do more with that stuff, or maybe I'll do less with it. Because whatever I clean up in this lifetime, I'm cleaning up for all lifetimes. Anything that I'm cleaning up for all of humanity, because there is only one thing happening here: God, life, mystery. Oh, how did you get to be so beautiful? Oh, it's all that inner meditation and being married to a great guy. Ba-doom, boom. I'd like to help with ideas. Okay, and we will be in touch. I believe in God, but why do some people have to suffer with so much illness? Yeah, absolutely a hard heart question. Why is there still so much suffering? And it seems that that is the curriculum in this experience here on earth as our souls, our consciousness develop here, that is how we grow and learn on our own. That if we all came into this heaven with the angels singing and all of that, it would be harder to grow and to learn. I like to think of earth as more like an earth school. And some of us have an easier time with math and some of us don't. And that perhaps the greatest transformation we can have is to learn how to be with suffering, knowing that there is something greater, and to be with the human. To be with someone who is going through a cancer diagnosis and to meet them right where they are and to be with them in sympathy and in caring and in sadness. And then also holding that you know that this being is so much more than the one in front of you, that they are a soul, that they go on forever, that there is something beyond their body, because we can take away a piece of the body and they're still them. And their body can even be gone when our bodies are, my grandmother is gone, but my grandmother is still my grandmother. She's in my heart. I don't know where she is physically, but something of my grandmother will not die. It does not die. It made a difference. And so we have that dual vision of the human and supporting them and doing all that we can to lessen suffering. That's our job, and also to celebrate, as the Dalai Lama says, suffering is not enough. Both and, double vision. It's still a life worth living. And the way that most of us are learning are through these challenges. And when we truly look at it outside of a challenge, when we're not suffering, if we can step back and study and learn to see the big picture with equanimity, then the suffering is easier to hold. And we see how all suffering passes and changes. It may move into something else at times, but the suffering that we've been in our lives has moved and changed and grown us. And we do all that we can to reduce it. And it seems to be the equation. Coming together in unified thought, yes. Spiritual, not religious. What was Jesus's last name and where did he go from 12 to 17? Great questions, yes. Oh, he wandered and met the Buddha, I think, no. INDAS, being religious does not mean to keep kosher. I am told I am not religious. So again, thanks, Cindy. We get to decide what our labels are. So much about labels. And let's look at what's behind labels. Let's look at what's behind. Carolyn is saying that Unitarian and Unity, both New Thought churches. I don't know if Unitarian is technically considered New Thought, but we have certainly got common roots with Emerson and Thoreau. They were very big influences on both movements, but I'm not sure if we count them as New Thought. Good question. I'm going to go look at that chart that they give us. Unitarian is more about concepts and Unity more specific about one supreme being. Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that. About concepts. Yeah, I like that. That's a good way. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a really great inspirational lecture, college lecture, when I go to the Unitarian church. And then when I come to Unity, I feel, again, more of that heart, a little bit more of that soul there. The role of Jesus. Let me know, Carolyn, what you mean about the role of Jesus in a more, I'm not sure exactly what the question is. Oh, Jim, this is great. It's so nice to see you online. Any place where you can grow spiritually is the place to be. God loves us. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Studies of near death. I'm cleaning up for all of humanity. God, life, mystery. Yes, you're cleaning it up. Spiritual boot camp. Yes, another way to look at us. We can take the body, but we are them. Okay, and there was another question. I think I have one or two that I can pull up from the mail that we haven't already addressed. Most of them we have. Great, we've answered the afterlife one. Doing church going forward. Okay, I got that one. So those were the questions that I had. I'm going to look quickly here and see if anybody else emailed me a private question while we were on. Nope. Okay. All right. So we have gotten through the questions here today. Emerson and Thoreau. The role of Jesus in unity. Thank you. That is also a difference between unity and Unitarian. Although not as strong as the difference between unity and, say, traditional churches. So the role of Jesus in unity, you've heard some of these phrases, I'm sure. Master teacher. That's probably the biggest one. We use this phrase called way shower. No one else in the religious world that I'm aware of really uses that word, except other New Thought schools and religions like CSL. So I don't use that word. I try to use things that don't make us weirder than we already are. But within unity, it's a word that works for us. He shows us the way, because after Jesus's death, it was known as the way, the followers of the way. So I see where that comes from. And so the Unitarian Church also would look at Jesus as a master teacher, but there isn't as much of a focus on him. You know, it would be mentioned more tangentially in most of those churches, because I believe, because of the baggage that goes with what we've put on Jesus, that he's become a punishment and a source of guilt out of for the atonement belief. Whereas in unity, we understand the difference between Jesus, the man, and Christ, the nature. That there was a man who fully developed his God nature, Jesus the Christ, and that we are working to develop our Christ nature to be Elizabeth the Christ. That is our focus. That isn't a focus then in the Unitarian teaching. Theirs is more, again, about humanism, to be the best person that you can be. So we are both looking at the same goals and perspectives. We come at it a little bit differently. We use Jesus more, and yet we have people in unity that Jesus isn't a key component for them either. That he is one of many teachers. For some, he is the master teacher. For me, Jesus is one of my pantheon of teachers and people that I look to. He's probably the most important, but I probably don't put him at a pinnacle like some others do. Maybe I've got all of these, and maybe Jesus is here because I grew up in America, and that's the one that I know the best. So I identify with him the most. And I've read this Bible for this many years. And I know that religion is a lot about geography. And so those in another geography with the teacher saying similar things, I see the connection and I see the oneness. So he shows us. Angela loves our weirdness. I love our weirdness in-house too, but I don't want it to put me off of being able to talk with other colleagues when it's hard enough to overcome the cult status. There are places in this country where unity ministers are not allowed to go to the clergy meetings because we're not considered legit. And so I want to be part of the conversation. And so, but I also like that we're not the same. Nancy, now you've pushed me. Do you consider, oh boy, I should have quit while I was ahead. Yes. Oh, Linda, you're backing her up here. Okay. My last, here we go. Whew, do I consider unity a Christian church? Yes and no. One of these, again, it depends on you. So if that's comfortable for you, because here's the question back to you is, what does a Christian church mean? If a Christian church means I must believe that, that Jesus died for my sins, that he sits at the right hand of God, all those traditional things. No, I don't. Christian in the sense that we believe in the Christ nature of all beings and that we're here to bring that forth. And Jesus was the great example of that. Yeah. My question is calling us Christian more helpful or less helpful for the people within and the people who want to come here? So without giving up who we are, because we are unity, we have a unity teaching, and that is specific to us. People that are looking for a church these days, Christian is a negative. I'm not saying that we abandon Jesus to be popular. No, but because you can't get past the word Christian for people to even get them in the door, I don't lead with it. That's why. Because it will be too off-putting to people who've been harmed by religion, which is everybody. So I put it off in the background. It's not that we aren't, but all of us here within, we know that Jesus is part of what we're doing. We know that we believe in the Christ nature. Okay? I don't need to convince all of you. Call us what you will. Now, put your heart into the unchurched or the non-churched or the ex-churched person. They've left their church. They want something. They're spiritual. They're wandering, but they're not religious. And all the studies say anything that's too traditional puts them off. We won't even get them in the door. So my heart is with getting those people in because you guys are already here and you get it. Now I want other people to get what we've got. Not throngs. Unity's never going to be huge. But if not putting that word out front gets a person in the door, I'm comfortable with that. And not everyone feels the way. And I will say that Reverend Deb probably would answer this question a little bit differently. So ask her about that. All right, here we go. Yes, never heard another. I say things that like nobody else will. A unity Christian without shame. That's beautiful. And my dear friend, Lisa, big hugs to you. Oh my goodness, I could go on forever and I won't. I will spare you all. This has been really deep, really powerful. And your questions, oh my gosh, your questions. Ooh, we've got an angry Facebook person. I see that. I'm not sure what they're angry about, but that's okay. These questions tell me so much about where you're at, which is that you are deep and you are powerful and you are thinking about things. And I really appreciate that. And so I am now going to actually turn it back over to Tatiana, give you some time to take in all these different things that I've said. And I could listen to this and go, oh, I'm not sure why I said it that way. So this has been a wonderful experience. And Tatiana is going to play us a little music, and then I will get our Chris on to our announcements. So thank you, Tatiana. Take us away with a little music.
Happy New Year!
Blessings, Tatiana.
Yes, I just want to tell everyone Happy New Year, and let's believe in love and believe in better and believe in our La La Land. And that's what I was going to tell you. Happy New Year!
All right. Thank you, Tatiana. Happy New Year to you. And welcome back to Chris. Thank you for being with us. And we will move into being a cheerful giver now. As we complete our service today, as always, we have the opportunity, as the Bible tells us, to be not just cheerful, but hilarious in our giving. And as we round out the year, we have our continuing 3 ways to give, and I want to take a moment to talk about year-end giving. I believe everyone has probably seen our I Love My Church campaign that's running for the next week, actually through the 31st. So one more request to you to think about Unity Northwest Church as you do your year-end giving. Many of us make extra donations at this time, and because we have a change in the tax law this year, that we are able, all of us, to deduct $300. There we go. For most taxpayers, up to $300 are tax deductible this year, which they haven't been in the past. And then for those who are itemizers, it means that the limits on itemizing have been removed. So instead of up to 65%, it's now 100% of your AGI that you're able to deduct. And take a moment to think about all that the church means to you and all that it brings to you. And in this season of gift giving, whatever your level of giving is, we're grateful for it. And we're grateful to you for considering continuing to support the church, which is you. So this is the one charitable donation, one of them that you make, that gives directly back to you. So that your church wouldn't be here without you, because there are no other givers into a church like this. There might be small amounts that come from some outside sources at times, but we don't have anything like that here other than fundraising. And so the more that we take in from our generous donors who are with us every Sunday, the easier it is for us to continue to bring the message and to try to get it out there to others. So thank you for continuing to consider your year-end giving and doing what you can for your spiritual growth. Let's bless that love offering. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And we are going to be thanking some very special people today. And I'm bringing on Ms. Teddy. And she is, hello, Teddy. It's great to see you. And thank you for being on once again. Tell us who we are recognizing today.
Yes. Well, in the beginning, you said, I take the best and leave the rest. And today we're acknowledging the best, the members of the Usher Greeter team. And today we're giving a shout out to those members on this team. And Unity Northwest is proud to honor our volunteers on the Usher Greeter team for those who served 2019 and 2020. You have served our church and made us what we are today. We are grateful for your steadfast commitment to our church and your mission to serve this community and our minister, Reverend Elizabeth Mora. Now, Mary Ford is the leader of this team, and she has a message for members of the team and us in general. And she said, I had the good fortune of taking over the usher greeter team from B. Salas approximately 1 year ago. B did a wonderful job of outlining the roles and responsibilities of this team, and she said, "Thank you, B." The team is made up of special men and women dedicated to the spiritual growth of Unity Northwest Church. Some of the volunteers have been members of Unity for many years, and others are fairly new. Yet all share a similar level of love and commitment to the church. While each person filled a particular need at one of the services, whenever the need arose to fill a vacancy, I only needed to put the word out to the team, and we quickly filled that need. I consider all of these wonderful individuals as friends who could call me anytime, and I hope that they feel the same way about me. It is a privilege to serve this team in this capacity with such wonderful and caring friends. Once we return to live services, we will need additional ushers and greeters or substitutes. So if this is something that interests you, please give it some thought, as we can always make room for someone who is interested. I wish everyone a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. I pray for their health, happiness, and prosperity for all, and look forward to seeing everyone physically back at Unity Northwest. Thank you to all the wonderful ushers and greeters that I have had the pleasure of working with. Blessings to you all, Mary Ford. And the names of these wonderful volunteers are Carolyn Amick, Cindy Jorganis, Riker Gasklaw, Jenny Hennick, Pat Jorges, Karen Killinger, Yolanda Merges, Gail O'Neill, Chris Schaefer, Jim Sanch, Susan Siegler, Dave Siegler, Ruth Trailer, Dallas Trailer, Wendy Walsh, Sheila Wilkins, Tracy Wilbridge. And the substitutes that jumped in when we needed someone: Karen Buchanan, Mary Jo Carbonara, Priscilla De Alessandro, Carolyn Danoon, Fee Gray Rodriguez, Joanne Mazer, Trudy Metz, Nick Novak, Vince Perry, B. Salas, Anita Stanmeyer. Thank you to each volunteer on this team, and God's blessings for your service, and to all a peaceful new year. Back to you, Reverend Elizabeth.
Thank you, Teddy, as always. If you are one of our ushers, please go ahead and say hi right now in the chat box. I know Jim Shantz is on today. Did I see the trailers on? So many of you are on today, so go ahead and say hi, get another shout out from your friends here. I look forward to the ushers, just like Teddy said and Mary said, when we are able to be back. And go ahead and pop in, and I'll put your hello up there if you can. And I'm going to turn it back over to Chris, who is going to take us home here with our announcements.
All right, in the bonus round on time, so I will make these quick.
Thank you.
And look, you can see my ceiling fan. How exciting! With just the bulb. Oh, that's awful.
Very classy. Very classy.
That's right. You can just imagine what the rest of my basement looks like. All right, the announcements. All right, so next week we'll be joining the Unity of North Shore. So see you next week for that. The fellowship will be at 11:30 in the Northwest Zoom room afterwards. The service starts at 10:30 a.m.
So that's a really important thing for everybody to notice, because we normally join Unity of Ames, but Unity of Ames, their schedule didn't work with what we're doing. So this is going to be a new link. It's up above, folks. We will put it on Facebook. We will send it out. There will be a text reminder, but everybody notice that we're going somewhere different next week.
So the beauty of the internet, we can go anywhere we want.
Yes.
And then, of course, Thursday is the Burning Bowl ceremony from 7 to 8. There'll be a Zoom link above and on the Facebook page. And then, of course, the White Stone ceremony will be Sunday, January 10th. So start praying on that and see what word comes up for you. The virtual memorial service for Reverend Ed Townley will be on the 10th at 1 p.m. The link is above for that.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I'll go ahead and take the rest of them home. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Our churro next week is at a different time, so 10:30 and different bat channel, as I like to say. And Chris is looking forward to seeing a different church. Appreciate that too. They're looking forward to having you with them. A couple of things that I wanted to mention to folks is the availability of spiritual counseling. That especially as we go through these times, there are those of us that are suffering from some illnesses or depression or questioning things spiritually or wanting to grow deeper. So if you are interested, I'm available for spiritual counseling, and we have several others, including Megan as well. So check out the counseling page on our website and know that spiritual counseling is an option for you if you would like that. And all of these things that I mention every week, all the links that you need to do everything are up above. So look at the description. As you can see on the screen here, this is what's important. Sometimes people say, I didn't get it, I didn't hear it, I didn't know. Look at the links above, even save that somewhere, and always click see more. We can only show about 3 lines at a time, so it gets truncated. Always make sure you click more and do all of these things to find out what's going on. Be on our text list, be on our email list, check Facebook, our webpage, and the newsletter. So there's no reason for you to miss out on anything. And the 2 most important things you can do to make sure that you don't miss something is be on our text update service. So next Sunday at 9:30, we're going to remind you, church is at 10:30 today, and here's the link. How easy is that? You just click the button and you'll be set. And check, be on our email list. Just go right to our webpage and sign up for that. So these are important things. We don't want anybody missing out. A couple of weeks ago, we did have a little bit of a challenge with technology 2 weeks in a row. One was that we weren't here. We were in Iowa. The other was that I played some music that got us kicked off. So all of our links work. Some people have questioned whether the links work. The links are fine. It was just a Facebook issue and a schedule issue. So again, always be checking your text. And if you ever can't see us, hit that refresh button. So it's up there somewhere in your upper left-hand corner. Find your refresh button, get familiar with it and be friendly with it. And if you can't see our video and you don't see a note that says, hey, we're supposed to be over at Iowa or something, refresh. There may have been a technical difficulty, and that'll get you where you need to be. And always stay in touch through our webpage. Our videos are on YouTube, and everybody stay safe out there. We'll see you in a couple of minutes over on Fellowship. We're a little bit late today. Thanks for your patience. Prayer chaplains will be with you. And let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Please remember how amazing you are and have a wonderful 2021. And if you want to stay on the line, I will show a few more of the comments. Tatiana will play a little bit for us, and we'll see you over on Fellowship on Zoom in just a minute. Thank you. And Tatiana, play us a little music. Happy New Year. God bless.